If you were tired of hearing about chiasmus in the Book of Mormon, well, too bad, because the entire Book of Jarom is a chiasm. Scholars have been putting forward proposals for that chiasm for decades, but Stephen Kent Ehat has a new article out that conveniently ties together all the meaty details. And there's a lot that's interesting there, but I want to focus on a form of chiasm that you may not have run into before, and it's called distant chiasm. It's when one author lays out a series of elements, and then another author, often centuries later, references those same elements in reverse order. One good example is in Ezekiel, where he reverses a law laid out in Deuteronomy about putting a father to death on account of his son's crimes. It's essentially a poetic way to allude to past scripture. And Jarom, right at the center of his chiasm, lays out a list that the Nephites have prospered materially from keeping God's commandments, and he does so in a very specific order. He starts with precious metals like gold and silver, and then base materials like wood, copper, brass, and iron, and then he talks about weapons of war made from those materials. This seems pretty mundane, but it also brings full circle a similar list in 2 Nephi 5, where Nephi starts off talking about weapons, talks about base materials, and then lists the precious metals. And what Jarom seems to be doing here is emphasizing the kinds of prosperity that come from being righteous. It allowed the Nephites to successfully defend against the Lamanites across generations. For him and his people, this wasn't just a checklist. This was an existential crisis solved by divine intervention. Check out the links in the description for much more on Jarom's chiasm, and I will see you next week.